Our next speaker is Marcia Four, the Vietnam Veterans of America Vice President.
Good morning. With me today is also my esteemed colleague, Dr. Tom Berger. I'm very grateful to Senator Gillibrand for bringing this issue forward and taking up the sword. We've needed a brave heart for a very, very long time because, as you probably know, this is also a multi-generational issue. This has been happening for decades upon decades. And when I say to you, this room is filled with the spirits of thousands and thousands of women and men who have come in the past and are no longer with us. And they are also on this march, this courageous march. And thank you for the comments that you just made, ladies. VVA, of course, stands with Senator Gillibrand. And we also are in compliance, we also embrace all the comments you've heard today, some of them very eloquently spoken. So I'm going to make just a few humble comments and hope I don't bore you with any reiterations. Military sexual trauma, as I said, is multi-generational, and the fallout is devastating. And it can impact one's whole life, to include, and something that's not been really mentioned before, homelessness. It's an immense issue among the homeless veteran population of this country. Vietnam Veterans of America has long been vocal on this issue of sexual assault in the military, providing testimony as early as 1992 during the hearings that were precipitated by the tailhook scandal. It seems at last the issue of sexual assault in the military is out from under the proverbial rug. It's taken years, but you know, finally, the American people, the public, they are learning about this immensely disturbing military secret. And they're asking, are you kidding me? In our military? It's unimaginable to them. For decades, the Department of Defense has attempted to address military sexual trauma on a number of levels with some good processes. And many senators have offered additional outstanding pieces to the National Defense Authorization Act. But combating this contemptible enemy, military sexual trauma, requires yet another component, one seen as a much-needed dramatic change, one that will bring legal equity to both the victim and the accused. The action to defeat Senator Gillibrand's bill, when it came up first with the Defense Authorization Act, sided with the stance of the Department of Defense leadership, who at the June 12th Senate Armed Services Committee hearing indicated that progress to resolve this issue is contingent on leadership being held accountable. You know, once we believed that it would come, but we really, over all this time, have lost faith. We've been waiting far too long for oversight and accountability. Ask yourselves, shouldn't they always have been held accountable? How are we expected to believe it now? How are we expected to believe it will be different this time? The Department of Defense stance is a time-worn argument, but not unexpected. It's almost inconceivable that military leadership would want to relinquish any of its authority. And on some level, it's understandable. But they don't get it. And as you heard earlier, the comments were made from those at the highest level of our military. Those that are in the field, those commanders in the field, they have not had the capability to weigh in on this issue. Today, we ask the military leadership to place themselves or their children in the position of these victims, and yes, even of those that are accused. Wouldn't they want the best legal system available and the most experienced legal representation? This is about humanity. This is about who we are as a nation, as a people. Wouldn't they cry for equitable justice, a justice that any citizen of this country is entitled and should have access to? Now, recently I did hear this too. Some were arguing cost. But let me ask you this. When has America ever put a price tag on justice? Vietnam Veterans of America stands unwavering in its commitment to this resolution of the tragedy. And together with our partners, Servicewomen Action Network and the Iraq-Afghanistan Veterans of America, we bring a unified voice to underscore the need for strong military justice reform. And we support Senator Gillibrand's movement. We thank her for taking up the sword.